Hello everybody. In the series of Ascendant, today I'm going to talk about native having Gemini as their ascendant. To know your ascendant, please watch my introductory video where I have explained how you can know your ascendant by looking at your Kundali Janam Patrika or your horoscope report. Let's say you have looked at your horoscope report and you see number 3 in the first house. So in Kundli, there are 12 houses, and first house is called as your Lagna or your rising sign or ascendant. So let's say you have looked at your chart and you see number 3 appearing in the first house. That means you are a Gemini ascendant. So I'll be discussing the characteristics and important aspect of life of a native born in Gemini ascendant, or Gemini being the rising sign for the ascendant. As you would have noticed, I haven't got any planet in any of the houses in the chart. Okay, so this video will not really tell you how good or bad different aspect of life of a native would be, because that are driven by the planets, and those planets are not included in the chart, but it will give you a fair amount of idea. So let's start first with some of the famous personalities who have got Gemini as their rising sign. So from Hollywood we have Tom Cruise, from Bollywood we have got Kangna Ranaut, Rajesh Khanna, and in the scientific community we have Einstein, and then as a politician, Priyanka Gandhi. And you probably know all these are quite famous personalities, and I have picked few of them. So to really understand the nature and the characteristics of natives born with Gemini as the rising sign, one needs to understand uh, the key parameters assigned to the Gemini zodiac sign. So the lordship of this sign has been assigned to Mercury. The element is air. Gender is it's a masculine sign. It has got dual nature. The caste is Shudra, and it rules Kama house, one of the Kama house, and shoulder. Okay, so when I talk about the characteristics, I'll map these parameters with the natives different aspect of life and characteristics. So first thing is to really look at the symbol and let's try to decode the symbol. So the symbol assigned to it is of a young male and a female. So in literature, it is said that the young lady has got veena, a musical instrument, in her hand, and the young man has got gada, a wooden mallet used in fighting. So they seem to be enjoying and they're playing with each other. So what does that really reveal? It reveals a lot of things actually. So these people are, or Gemini ascendant people, are the ones who will have deep interest in music and sports. They are, because as you can see, they are young, they are usually immature. So this immaturity you would see pretty much even at a later stage in the life. Then what else? The pair of young men and women playing with each other also shows their interest towards opposite gender. Um, and then the rulership, as you can see, the lordship has been assigned to Mercury. So let's try to understand what does Mercury really represent. So Mercury is also a prince. Okay, is called the prince. So these native will show prince-like, which is more like a childish behavior, even when they are quite at a late age in their life. They will not hesitate to crack jokes in party like a child, and make everyone laugh. They are the ones who will speak very softly, okay, like a child. As a prince, they will always be curious to know new things, but very quickly their curiosity will go away, and then they will look for something new. Uh, so, what else does Mercury signify? It also signifies they are the people who are very adaptable, so they can adapt pretty much to any environment. They are quite sympathetic in nature. They wouldn't hesitate in expressing their love and affection, but then they lack the determination. So they are also soft spoken. They are curious. Why curious? Again, it's because of um, because the childish nature. Now, what else does Mercury really rule? So Mercury also rules memory. So they would, if Mercury is well placed in their chart, they will have good memory. They will be really intelligent and also talkative because of the air element. So the air elements really make them somebody who loves talking and communicating things. They will have good analytical skills. Again, Mercury, because of Mercury and air element, this is why they will also have high sense of humor. They will be very tactful, and they will be master when it comes to diplomacy, and that's how they maneuver through difficult situation in life. They are very good in persuading others and getting their things done. They are quick thinker. They are always keen to learn new things, but then they lack patience. Now, this is another aspect you have to think is because in Kal Purush chart, um, Gemini rules the third house. So what you would notice, they will have excessive hand movement, and they would love imitating others. Why is that? Because the third house is house of hobby, and also it it's a house of and the fifth house, which is house of creativity, is ruled by Venus. So combination of third and fifth house makes them a good actor. Um, Now, from a home life perspective, it would be very much transactional because of again Mercury ruling the fourth house. Even with their mother, they will have that kind of, they will be, keeping finances really very clear with their mother. They are quite kind-hearted people and beautiful. Why are they beautiful? Because of the combination of Mercury, which is an earth sign, which is an, when it comes to the element of Mercury, it is earth, and then the element of the zodiac sign is air. So both of them make native a beautiful one. Um, they face less hurdle in life. Uh, and they must be cautious about the opposite sex because of, again, because the sixth house rules uh, is ruled by Mars, and it's a sign of Scorpio, so which is um, not like a Cancerian water, so usually they need to be cautious. The seventh house, which is ruled by Jupiter, again, that shows they will have a spouse who will have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, who will help uh, their partner. The spouse will help the native to really become more mature, but that process goes across the life. So now, if the third house, which is ruled by Sun, if it makes any relationship with the 10th house, which is the house of karma, then it's likely that whatever their passion, their hobby is, they are going to end up turning that hobby into their profession. So then the question comes in, what type of professions are suitable for these natives? So the professions usually suitable for Gemini Ascendant are, they would be an artist. Um, they will be really very creative because of the fifth house being ruled by Venus. Then again, third house being the house of media, they could be working in media, in film industry. They could be working in music industry. They the key in one word, if you have to really describe about their strength, it is going to be the communication. They will be really good in communication, both uh, in terms of writing and when they speak. So they could be somebody who could be a writer, or could be a poet, or could be a reporter, an anchor. Yep. So now third house also rules hand and shoulder, so that makes these native very good dancer. But then with third house also, one thing you would notice is they would have excessive movement of hand when they talk, and also they would love touching their nose, uh, because of the air element. For no reason, they will just time to time touch their nose. So when it comes to their weakness, they are very imaginative people, and they will always have this ambitious ideas in their mind. The risk for them is they could potentially lose from fraud. Somebody can do fraud with them, and deception. So also they need to be cautious, if for especially a male native has to be cautious with the women's that he comes across. They could lose money towards women. Why? Because the 12th house, house of loss, is ruled by Venus. In terms of illness and diseases, primarily you'd notice they would be prone to respiratory related illness. They could potentially have cold and cough, or bronchitis, also illness related to nose. And if Mercury is not well placed, then they could also have a skin related problem. One thing in particular, just want to mention, we have noticed is that they are not very fortunate in their service, wherever especially their service environment does not support them. They face some kind of misfortune where in their service, and that's because of the Martian energy in the sixth house of service. So hope this has given some insight about the Gemini ascendant. So thank you, and see you in the next video.